Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Daniel Anthony and you're watching KiniFlash. Kuala Lumpur woke up to ash and dust this week as the air pollutant index or API readings throughout the Klang Valley are continuing to rise amid worsening haze conditions since yesterday morning. At 3 p.m. today, the API readings for all those areas had risen beyond 118, with Petaling Jaya recording 149 at 3 p.m., Shah Alam at 140, Cheras at 159 and Putrajaya at 144. API numbers from 101 to 200 is considered unhealthy pollution that could potentially worsen the health condition of those suffering from heart and lung complications. With hotspots expected to persist in Sumatra and Kalimantan in Indonesia, the Asean Specialised Meteorological Centre or ASMC warns that the haze affecting parts of Malaysia will continue to worsen. Data from the ASMC shows that the number of hotspots in Sumatra have jumped drastically to 206 on Sunday, up from 52 the day before, despite denials from Jakarta, as Indonesia's Environmental Affairs and Forestry Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar said in a Facebook post on Sunday that there was no recurrence of transboundary haze from Indonesia to neighboring countries. Moving on, today we enter the 6th day of the criminal trial of former Prime Minister Najib involving the alleged abuse of power and money laundering of 1MDB funds at the Kuala Lumpur High Court. Najib's former special officer Amhari Effendi Nazaruddin spoke about what he claimed was a close relationship between Rosma Mansor, who is the wife of the former premier, and Low Taek Jo, the fugitive business person who is linked to the 1MDB scandal. Amhari testified that during several secret meetings with Low at the Prince Hotel in Kuala Lumpur, he overheard the businessman speaking to Rosma on the phone. He also told the court that the business person was often invited to private functions at the Najib family's private home. The defense team today then turned up the heat on Amhari, accusing him of, quote, playing ball with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission against the former Prime Minister so that he can escape charges himself. Najib's lead defense counsel Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, during cross-examination, grilled Amhari's recollection about a briefing for Najib which included documents provided by the fugitive business person Low Taek Jo. During the cross-examination, Shafi also claimed that there were inconsistencies in Amhari's testimony and pointed out that Amhari had received $200,000 from Low as a loan for the purchase of a property which had yet to be returned. The National Registration Department or NRD has lodged a police report against social media accounts spreading news that Malaysian identity cards or MyCards have been issued to Chinese citizens. According to NRD Director General Ruslin Juso, the report was lodged yesterday at the Putrajaya Police Headquarters by officers from the department. The NRD had previously released a statement saying that pictures going viral claiming the government was granting citizenship to Chinese immigrants were untrue, taking the opportunity to remind the public that legal action can be taken against the spread of false information by any irresponsible individuals. And now a quick look at some world news headlines. Civil unrest continues in Hong Kong as 3 months of protest and rallies show no signs of stopping. On Monday, school students in the Special Administrative Region joined in by forming human chains in districts across Hong Kong in support of anti-government protesters after another weekend of clashes in the Chinese-ruled city. Hundreds of students, many wearing masks, formed human chains across Hong Kong on Monday in support of anti-government protesters. On Monday, before school started, students and alumni joined hands chanting, "Fight for freedom."
We'll never give up because once we step back, we will lose forever. So we will keep doing this, and then our action may be escalated.
3 months of protests over a now withdrawn extradition bill have evolved into a broader backlash against the government and greater calls for democracy. Police said they had arrested 157 people over the previous 3 days, bringing the total number of arrests to over 1,300. The former British colony is facing its first recession in a decade as the protests scare off tourists and bite into retail sales in one of the world's most popular shopping destinations. Officials in the Bahamas said that they have not given up looking for survivors after Hurricane Durian trashed the tourism-dependent islands with 200-mile-per-hour winds last week, leaving severe destruction and death in its wake. Rescue workers are still searching for bodies and survivors in the hurricane-ravaged Bahamas as of Monday. The Royal Bahamas Police Force said at least 45 people have died after Hurricane Durian hit the Bahamas on the 1st of September, and the death toll is likely to climb.
The island has been put into a grid system, and the recovery team will check each section for persons who are still alive, any bodies that need to be recovered, and to check for hazardous material.
Durian, a Category 5 hurricane with winds of 200 miles per hour, rampaged over the Bahamas for nearly 2 days, becoming the worst disaster in the nation's history. Bahamian officials said 4,800 people had been evacuated from the archipelago's several islands, and flights will continue to evacuate people who choose to leave, but there are no mandatory evacuations. Thousands of people have moved to the capital Nassau, with the shelters straining to house evacuees from the worst hit areas. Hundreds more have fled to the United States in search of safety and resources. The National Emergency Management Agency said they will focus on research and recovery of bodies before beginning the cleanup. Now, before we wrap up, here are some other news highlights from today. That's all from us today, ladies and gentlemen. For more, you can log on to KiniTV.com. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Dailymotion for the latest news. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.